Now to Melbourne Council, that's drawn a line in the sand over poker machine numbers and will spend ratepayers' money to block more being installed in local pubs and clubs. The MONASH Council in Melbourne's southeast says it's appealing against a recent Gambling Commission decision because of the damaging social impact of pokies. For its part, the industry says the council is overestimating problem gambling and underestimating the revenue pokies generate for the broad community. Hamish Fitzsimmons reports.
The ring and ding of pokies is something most pub and club goers on the east coast of Australia have become accustomed to.
Pokies have taken over, and they've taken over pubs, clubs.
A major council in Melbourne's ethnically diverse southeast agrees and says the social impact of problem gambling in the local community is too great.
In Monash, we have more pokies than any other council in metropolitan Melbourne, and we've got enough.
Poker machines in Monash tend to be clustered in the areas of relative disadvantage. The effects on those disadvantaged areas are always going to be much greater than they will be on areas of affluence.
The council says it's going to spend ratepayers' money to challenge a decision by the Victorian Commission for Gambling and Liquor Regulation that approved an extra 7 machines at this venue.
It's 7 machines, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually equates to $1.7 million drawn out of the Clayton community every year. And this is in an area where the Monash community lost $122 million on pokies in the last financial year.
But the Peak Clubs body says it's easy to forget how much money from poker machines goes back into the community. Every year, the Victorian government reaps $1 billion from an estimated $2.6 billion wagered on pokies.
There's a significant revenue aspect to electronic gaming machines. 90% of the funds that go into a machine go back to the punter. Currently, under the current regime, 1/3 goes to the licence holder, 1/3 goes to the government, and then 1/3 that goes to the venue.
While challenges to the establishment or expansion of pokies venues are many, successes are few. One community group to have a win was at Janjuk on the state's surf coast. When the local pub applied to have pokies as part of a major expansion in 2010, locals opposed it.
We were successful because we proved a disbenefit to the community. The key issue is why the regulator hasn't accepted other arguments. So I think it actually comes down to the regulator.
The Gambling Commission wouldn't comment on the Monash case, but some gambling researchers say, going on results that favour pubs and clubs, there's a bias in gaming laws across the country.
Just as in some planning cases, what you find is that the applicant seems to have a right to pursue the operation of poker machines, whereas local governments have to show a reason why it shouldn't be allowed.
The Productivity Commission claims 40% of pokies losses come from problem gamblers. But the gambling industry says those people would still lose money even without pokies.
There are some people, there's no question, have a problem with gambling, and it wouldn't matter what they bet on, they have a problem with gambling. But most people are recreational gamblers and they use electronic gaming machines as recreation.
Monash Council lost the first round of its fight against more pokies when the Gambling Commission found in favour of the hotel. But the council says it's prepared to fight on if it loses its appeal in the Civil and Administrative Tribunal.
And we simply can't agree with the Commission that the benefits of a possible renovation to a pub would far outweigh the destruction that we know these extra machines will cause in the Clayton community.
The problem for most local governments is that pursuing this route costs them a lot of money. Hundreds of thousands of dollars can readily be consumed in legal fees fighting these sorts of applications.
Others will be watching the outcome with interest. After a long and sometimes bitter campaign to stop pokies at their local, Janjuk residents like Jeremy Ham have no regrets.
I'd do it again, I think, and it may well come up again. But I think the key is just having the support of the community and knowing that people are behind you, and that remained, constant throughout.
Hamish Fitzsimmons, Late Line.